Knowing happens in the moment. Now this. Oh, and that's already gone. Oh, now this. It's this yes, 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 yes in the moment. Feels great. And yeah, there are plenty of moments that aren't so great, right? And that's not the problem. And the reason I say that is because on the human level, yeah, it feels hard and blah blah blah. And the human level is the divine too. Let's not forget that, right? But and it's still asking us to be here now in the moment. If you're in a lot of physical pain, that's a big ask, right? Then you're in physical pain. That's the moment. The moment is physical pain. The moment is whatever it contains. It doesn't look any more shiny or pretty because of liberation. It's just actually real. It's actually just what it is. And some people, it's hard to understand that. That's okay. How can you understand something until you're at that shoreless shore anyway, right? But it's still driving you. It's still calling you. And be true to that. And you get tastes of it along the way, right? Why else would you be drawn? And why else would you continue? Because it wants you to be home. It's not playing hide and seek with you. Remember that. So many of us are like, oh, awakening is eluding me. It's not showing up. I'm doing everything I can, as if it's the fault of true nature. Right? We do that too, right? We've all done that. That's okay. It's not the way it works, though. It's always here, as they say, and it's true because you're here. You're here right now. It's here. You're here. It's here. Everything you see is it. Everything you feel is it. Everything that exists is it. So how could it elude you? It's the veils of this separate self-consciousness that is masking it. It's not its fault. It's here. And it's not your fault. It's just these veils. And they come from those who know my work. I've said this before. They come from that self-reflective ability of mind to be able to look at itself, this self-consciousness that arises. That's a beautiful thing that human beings have, but it's also creates a lot of pain. Correct? This ability to reflect and see ourselves and think about ourselves and process and it creates a subject-object thing. I'm not going to go into it. I've done it many times, but it creates a subject-object experience where we become an object to ourselves. If you can hear some panting, it's my doggy. I don't know if it's microphone's catching it. Okay, good. Yeah, so then that creates this separate self sense that rises up. I'm an object to myself will feel like a separate self, right? Like there's me, and then we use the words like ego. I've got an ego. Really? No, you don't have an ego. Of course you don't. So that would mean that you have a separate self in you. Sorry, I don't buy it. Um, you may be really careful if you're using the word ego to try part of your spiritual practice, okay? Because if you're using the word ego, you got to be really clear what your definition of it is, or else you're using another object in yourself to make yourself wrong. It's my ego that is in the way. Really? That's like saying there's really a separate self here and it's really in the way. No, it's a felt sense. You sense that there's separation. Doesn't mean it's true. And that's because the object of self has been taken, that reflective ability has become entrenched inside, in the mind, in the body. And that kicks up a lot of existential angst, because we're not meant to, as one with nature, being one with nature like animals are, to have an experience of feeling separate from nature, from our environment, would be very threatening, because our survival depends on being one within nature. So it'd feel existentially super scary, and then we would feel always this kind of low-level anxiety, besides all the other reasons to feel anxiety. But, on a primal root level, you'll feel anxiety. I'm not home within myself. I'm not at home. That's important, to feel at home. This world is a mess. I mean, the human created world. Okay? And what we're doing to nature too. It's a mess. And on top of that, to not feel at home in yourself, that's the biggest mess right now in your personal life. Right? So the invitation is to come back home, right? That's what the divine is inviting you to do. Come back home. Realize your birthright, realize your potential, live your potential, be in sync with your nature, and then do your life. It doesn't have to be a grand thing. Just do your life as a whole being, shouldn't that just be normal?